Hi, this is the fourth diabetes talk about common misconceptions about diabetes. There are 9 misconceptions. The first one, diabetes cannot be cured. Medication is for life. This is what people used to believe. Doctors used to believe cannot be cured. You have to take medicine forever, take the drugs forever. Yeah, but actually they knew. Some doctors knew how to reverse diabetes. They didn't want to share their secret, so they never publish any scientific journals. Okay. But actually some of them knew they were charging I think 80,000 USD, okay, if you to reverse the diabetes. But about 5 to 7 years ago, UK direct called the direct study, they publish their scientific findings using a low calorie low carbohydrate diet, and now there is evidence now the medical community acknowledge that it can be reversed. So it goes a long history lah. Last time, long ago, before 1980, they give very little carbohydrates. Then after that, they change. They say you can eat a lot of carbohydrates after 1980. Then now, I think now they change back. Now they say eat little bit of carbohydrate. So like for example, in Malaysia now, since I think 2013 or something, the diabetic manual, the dietitian's manual, they ask you to eat low carbohydrate and low calorie. Okay. So there is a way to solve diabetes, to deal with it lah. But number two, diabetes only affects blood glucose level. So we think diabetes no problem. My glucose level is high. I get a lot of energy. What is the problem? But actually, the high glucose level can cause so many problems, so many diseases. So for example, it can block, or it can block the large and small blood vessels. So this one can cause cardiovascular complications, kidney problem, leg amputation, blindness. The high glucose level can increase the progression of cancer, can increase the risk of bacterial infection. It can cause hypertension. Hypertension can cause kidney problem, can cause liver problem, can cause heart problem. So you count lah the number of problems that you can have. Okay, it is never ending. Then you have red blood cell, white blood cell platelet function abnormality. Okay, the cells also will function differently. So number three, we think diabetes easy to diagnose. I go to do my regular checkup. They test my fasting blood glucose level. That's it. But actually, fasting blood glucose level is only one indication, and it is only when it is very serious, or when it is quite serious, then only it will be detected, right? So what can you do? Another test you can do is insulin level. Okay. And the third test you can do is glucose tolerance test, where you go to the doctor. They will give you 50 to 100 gram of glucose, and then you wait for 2 to 3 hours. Every 30 minutes or every hour you test the blood glucose level, right? So there are 3 ways lah, not just one way. But sadly a lot of times we just do one way only, which is, in my opinion, already too late. So the fourth misconception is only fat and old people will get diabetes. Yeah, so actually teen people also can get diabetes, young people also nowadays. Okay. Fat people, yes, in America 80% of diabetics also are obese. But which sometimes you can become fat first, then you can get diabetes, or you can get diabetes first, then you can become fat. Okay, if you wait until you become fat, then you do something about it, then while you are teen you think there's no problem. What happens if you get diabetes first? Because it can go parallel diabetes and fatness. So by the time, it could be too late if you wait until you are fat to take precautions. And young people also nowadays, even younger than 20 also can get. Okay, last time it's only about 50 or 60 years old. So exercising once a week is enough. According to the medical literature, you need to exercise minimum 3 hours a day, 3 hours a week, split into at least 3 sessions. Okay. So when you first start out, it'll be very hard. Even 20-30 minutes will be very difficult, but you have to gradually build up your strength, okay, because of the insulin insensitivity. And when you are dieting, don't exercise so hard because you will stress the liver, okay, because the liver have to go and metabolize all the ketones and the fat. And technique is important also lah, okay, not just how long you exercise but technique. So if you exercise every day just running, yes, your leg, your calf will be exercised, but how about your thighs, how about your arms, right, your biceps, how about your stomach, how about your chest? So different exercise work out different parts of the body, so you need to exercise the whole body, okay. And then some people think drugs can solve the problem. I just take drugs. If you read the medical books, some of it are very optimistic. They like to highlight only the positive things of what the drugs can do. But or some drugs all got limitation. For example, diabetic drugs, most of it have only 1 to 2% reduction of HbA1c level, the glycated hemoglobin. So that's why the doctors like to give you 3 or 4 drugs. They'll give you one drug. If one drug not enough, give you 2 drugs. 2 drugs not enough, give you 3, and then go up to 4 drugs. Right, this is in Malaysia lah, so far. So the thing is, because 4 drugs times 1% lah, let's say, you get 4% reduction mah. But your side effects also 4 times more, right? So your side effects, for example, metformin will accumulate in the intestine. So you will take metformin after many years. One day the intestine cannot take it anymore. You got diarrhea every day, and then you got dizziness. You can affect the kidney. You can affect the liver. So and drugs you have to take forever lah, for the rest of your life. And then it will keep getting worse. After 4 drugs not enough, then you take insulin. Yeah. And then once you take insulin, very thorough already, your leg amputated and all, okay. So dieting is number 7. Dieting is hard. You will feel hungry and tired. You not necessarily lah, this one depends. You need the right method of dieting, okay. You cannot eat too much carbohydrates. You cannot say totally don't want carbohydrates. You need to maintain the balance between carbs and protein, okay. Fat, don't have to bother about fat lah, okay. Fat for me, keep it to the minimum. But why is because as long as glucagon is not secreted, you will never be able to burn fat. The goal of weight loss is to burn fat mah. So you need to stimulate the secretion of glucagon, and you can only do that by 2 methods. One is decrease carbohydrates. Number 2 is exercise, right. And you need to ensure you have enough electrolytes lah, to maintain the osmotic pressure lah, okay. Too little or too much, it will cause the cell to become too big or too small. If the cell is too big, your brain will burst. Your brain will go bigger. If the cell become smaller, your brain will become smaller. Also, you get brain damage, okay. So you need to maintain lah, the amount of salt, the amount of potassium, the amount of protein. Yeah. So number 8, eating too much sugar or consuming alcohol causes diabetes. Causes is not exactly it could be, okay, actually, because when you eat a lot of sugar, the simple sugar immediately, very quickly, it turns into glucose. Whereas if you eat complex sugar like potato, like yam, right, like those starchy vegetables, they got fiber, so the glucose release very slowly. Yeah. And of those people who drink alcohol, alcoholic they call it, also have very high risk of getting diabetes. Why? A lot of people don't know why, but from what I read, is because number 1, the alcohol increase the glucose level. Number 2 is because the alcohol causes nutrient deficiency like potassium or magnesium, and then this nutrient deficiency causes insulin resistance, okay. This is a possible reason lah. Number 9, this is the last one. Losing weight is enough to reverse diabetes. Actually, it is not really it's not 100% about losing weight. It is about giving the beta cells a chance to recover. As long as the beta cells cannot recover and produce insulin, as long as you cannot get the insulin production running, your diabetes can never reverse. Correct or not? But how do you give the beta cells chance to rest and to recover, right? That is the key question. That is the $1,000,000 question. So from what I researched is have a low carbohydrate diet lah, and you need to burn the fat lah, remove the fat from the pancreas lah. Okay, so we must have enough protein. Okay, because our body have to synthesize new cells every day, so we need protein, enough protein lah. And is to get into ketones lah. Once your body produce ketone, then you generate energy from fat, right? And according to a textbook, you see they tried a low calorie but high carbohydrate diet. Okay, they can lose weight, no problem. But when they go home after 2 years, you see 36%, and then after 5 years only left 5%. So they cannot maintain, but they need exercise. But even with exercise, you see after 7 years only they manage to maintain 20% of the weight loss. So it doesn't work. As long as they only manage to maintain. Because why? Because they're hungry ma. When you're hungry, when you eat a lot of carbohydrates, you become hungry. Easier lah, not say what lah, you become easier to be hungry. So when you're hungry, of course you eat more ma. So it doesn't matter you exercise or not. If you are eating so much, you cannot maintain the weight. You cannot you will gain weight lah. So this is these 4 videos that I shared, only experts know all these things. Okay, share it so that you can increase awareness and promote my services, hopefully, and hopefully it can also help to save lives. Yeah. If you want to find out more, you can email me. I can share with you whatever you want to know about diabetes, because like I said, I have access to medical books, and yeah, and I'm not a doctor, so I cannot share with you specific treatment plans. I can talk about other things like dieting. I can talk about exercise. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.